Well, hey. It's Tiiu and
It's Michael. How are you, everybody? Thank you for joining us on a very special day. It's Mother's Day. Look at that
Happy
beautiful
Mother's
flower.
Day.
Yes, isn't that beautiful?
Okay,
So we have
okay.
lots of things to share with you. I'm sorry to you, I interrupted you.
I am. This is the best gosh darn book ever. Okay, I've read this I don't know how many times, and I have to say that because of this book and that
I
man
have
over
to get the
there.
book. I got the wrong book. And this book, Healing the Holes in Your Soul by Tiiu Napp, is a great book. It's a story of survival. She calls herself a thriver, and she's an amazing woman. Got a great story to share as she's peeking out from behind the book. So we're having fun, everyone, but I highly recommend reading this book. You know, we talk about this book a lot, and it's a very motivational book. It's a very healing book, and it is a very empowering book. So this is brought to you by Healing the Holes in Your Soul and the other book by
Spiritual primer. I tell you, Michael has encouraged me to just let the kid in me out. I've been so shy for so long, and now it's like I have fun doing this. Can you tell? and, and it's because we finally, finally, I had the answers to all the things that I was looking for, and it started by meeting this amazing man over here and reading this book. Otherwise, otherwise that book would not even exist. So on that note, I'm going to put my copy of this book down. I treasure this one like you have no idea. I've slept with it under my pillow, hoping that I'd learn by through osmosis while I'm sleeping. I don't know if I did or not, but you know what? It doesn't matter because my life has changed so much because I met Michael Gross, and I'm so incredibly blessed.
You humble me. Thank you.
It's like the
And
gift that
I'm
keeps
blessed
on
because
giving.
I've learned so much from you.
Well, thank you. It's like the gift that keeps on giving. Love is that it never stops, and that's why we're here today because it is Mother's Day. And all kidding aside, we need to take a minute and really um, think about whether you know, uh, sadly, my mom birthed out a while ago, several years ago, and I miss her every day. It would be awesome if I could just hug her every day. But all things being, it is what it is where it is, because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here. And if it wasn't for that man over there, I would not have ever realized that, life is limitless. Okay. I mean, life isn't limitless. Okay. Love is unlimited. Love is limitless. It comes through in ways that we don't even realize. And, knowing that Michael is the author of the spiritual primer, he's taught me how to go beyond our own preconceived ideas of love. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce him. And then I'm going to put a little tickle lock on my mouth so he can share his wisdom with all of you, okay? Because if your mom is still here, if your mom is still here on this planet, be sure you give her a call and give her one extra special hug, because you have no idea the power in a beautiful hug and in the voice. Even if you're not in the same town, the voice matters. It carries a beautiful message and it sings inside her heart and soul. So
It does.
remember that. Okay. My mama sings to me in my dreams.
All right.
And she still gives me hugs in my dreams. It's awesome.
All
Okay.
right.
On that note, let's get rocking and rolling on this, okay? Uh, you ready, Michael?
I'm ready.
You would think I had a glass of Chardonnay or something, and I've just had eau de water. But
I'm having a double water straight.
well, here, cheers to all the mothers in the world.
You got it. To all the mothers in the world.
To all the
Salute.
mothers in the world, we salute you.
Salute.
I got a drink it.
Yes.
Okay. All kidding aside, and even all the seriousness about mom's aside, we're going to go ahead and give Dr. Michael Gross a couple of really cool key points as we introduce him, okay? Dr. Michael Gross is an author, a professional keynote speaker, a transformational coach, and an entrepreneur. For more than 3 decades, he's been on a spiritual path as an intuitive, a healer, a spiritual counselor, and an incredible teacher. Through the guidance of spirit, Michael has assisted others in their personal quest for self-empowerment, helping them to create the lives that they have long sought and to bring forth their intuitive abilities. Michael currently teaches classes in spirituality, self-empowerment, Reiki, and other modalities. In concert with God, the true source, he has also achieved great success and miraculous healings. He remains humble, knowing that the work that he does all comes from God, the true source. He lives in Lakewood, Washington, and has recently launched his nonprofit. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the mic and the floor, whatever you want to call it, over to you, Michael, to talk about your nonprofit and some of the amazing things that you are bringing down the pipeline for all of us to also embrace our potential
Thank you.
and unconditional love. There you go, my friend.
Thank you so much. So I thought I'd address a little bit about the nonprofit, and it's called the International Institute of Self-Empowerment. And we've nicknamed it TISSE, the International Institute of Self-Empowerment. And when Spirit and True Source said you would start a nonprofit, I go, okay. And I've learned through the years you never argue because you always lose. And so I did it. So, well, I'm going to do with it. And I really didn't know. I had some ideas, but nothing in concrete. And then I happened to meet Tiiu and had the honor and privilege of working with her and realized about abused women and children and men. And in my meditations, I was told that we're going to have 12 different protocols that we'll be working on. And the first one is abused women and children. Well, I know a few abused women and children, not a lot, but I know Tiiu in depth, her good heart and her soul, and how she wants to change everything on this planet, bring about love, and help women find freedom in their life, as well as children and men. So at that point, I decided to make her director of healing abused women, children, and men. And we're putting together this nonprofit. It is a 501c3. We're soliciting donations. We're going for grants. We're doing all kinds of wonderful things. So I thought I'd tell you a little bit about that. That's our cause. And once we get that rolling, we're going to be working with children and education and many, many other things. That gives you a little bit idea about it. And then in the chat, you can see that my telephone number if you wish to call me about it. But aside from that, I want to talk about something else that I feel is very, very important. And it's really important that everybody has a mission and goal in life. And of course, part of Tiiu's mission and goal is helping abused women, children, and men. And I'm sure she has many others. And like I have many, but the key one for me, of course, is to empower this planet, empower everyone. And my goal is to get 1% of the population, just 1%. This is a small percentage, 1%, but it's a huge number of approximately 8.5 billion people to reconnect with the true source and manifest their missions, their goals, and their desires. And that's so beautifully important. And I really believe that we will achieve that because once you get to 1%, the other 99% or whatever percentage will begin to expand and do the same thing. And then we can turn this planet one of chaos, anger, frustration, and one into love. And really, I wrote about a lot of different things that I would share a poem next week, but I wanted to share one thing, and that is love. There's two energies, anything that is love and anything that's not of love. And then you have subtitles, but either love or no love at all. And love is the only energy that exists forever. It can be set aside, but it exists forever. So I wanted to share with all of you about Mother's Day. And this is such a wonderful, wonderful time to honor our mothers. Now, I realize some of you have had mothers that are really loving, caring, overbearing, probably a little annoying, probably a little pain in the toes here and there. sometimes smothering you, sometimes forgetting about you, sometimes demanding. But think of it this way: she decided to be the host for this beautiful soul. That's you. She's your mother. And as a woman goes through the process of pregnancy, a lot of changes happen within her body, and she does this with love. And then comes through the birth canal. And when you think about the birth canal, how it has to expand, oxytocin, I think they call it, as it expands, to allow the child to come through. What a beautiful gift of life the mother has given to the child. It's a beautiful gift because she volunteered to be the mother of your soul and to help you with your missions and goals in life. And it's really important for us to know that. Now, in a mother and father relationship, let's supposing they love their children equally as well. But the mother has an intuitive psychic tie, more so than the father, for one reason, because she carried the baby. And that makes her very, very close. And then we turn around and look, there's no real book on how to bring up a child. There was a Dr. Spock many, many years ago in 40s and 50s, maybe the early 60s, how you handle a child with this and how you do a child with that, and so on and so forth. But really, there's no textbook. So it's really on the job, shall we say, learning. You learn by trial and error. And sometimes you may say your mother did this wrong or that wrong. And perhaps she did. But what was her intent? Was her intent to be a grouch, mean, punish you, give you a hard time, or was her intent to love you, protect you, and help you get through life? And truly, that is a mother's goal, to guide you through life, to make you strong in whatever way she chooses to do that. Most mothers will draw upon their knowledge from how they were treated, and they will modify it in the areas they didn't feel they were treated well, or they could have been treated better. But whatever it is, the gift of life has been given to you from your mother. Because remember, without your mother, you could never have gone through the birth canal or become the person you are now. And we need to take more time to revere and honor our mothers. Yes, sometimes they're a pain in the tush. I agree. And sometimes they're kind of demanding, and sometimes they're kind of controlling, and so on and so forth. But no less than you are as a human being, because sometimes you're the same way as your mother, and maybe you don't recognize it. But the important thing is she gave birth to you. The important thing, she held you when you had a little boo boo or kissed your boo boo. And the important thing is when you were sad or down, she was there for you. And the important thing is she looked after you. But more importantly, she never stopped loving you, never stops loving you. No matter what interaction you have, whether it's loving, caring, anger, frustration, yelling, and screaming, that love that a mother has for you can never ever be turned off, can never ever be ignored, can never ever stop, even at the time when your mother has birthed out of her body and she's on the other side in spirit. I remember when I started teaching my classes many good years ago, in the first 2 or 3 years, probably three, everybody would smell this perfume. You've heard this story before, and you go, I don't know, must be an angel or guide. And after a couple of weeks, I went, smells kind of familiar. Oh my God, this evening in Paris. I used to buy that for my mother. And we all smelled that perfume for 3 years. So she felt I was on the road and doing things right. And that is so important for us to realize that the mothers love us so deeply, they will sacrifice their life, their food, everything just for their child. And we as their children don't really appreciate that many times. We forget about it. We forget about when there was just enough for one person in dessert and she could have had it and she gave it to you instead. Or forget the time that she didn't have much money or so they were tight on supplies, but she would go out and do something special for you. Maybe it was inexpensive, but it was done with love. See, love is such a powerful energy. You cannot describe love. Impossible. The poets can't describe it. I can't, but you can feel it deep within you. That's what's so important. You can feel this love that grows the mother has for a child. And although we love our mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers and whatever, A mother's love can never be measured. A mother's love can never ever be extinguished. A mother's love can never ever be felt as strongly as a mother feels for her child. And that's so important for us to recognize on this beautiful day. Take a moment. And if your mother is birthed out, meaning she's no longer with us, spend 5 minutes, say a little prayer, tell her how much you love her. And if you feel the need for forgiveness, it's fine. Ask for forgiveness. But you know what? Mother never really needs forgiveness because that love is so unconditional. We as human beings make our love excuse me, we make our love conditional many times, not unconditional, but conditional many times. While a mother constantly loves you. Yeah, she gets upset, but she loves you. And if you get a big argument, you run out of the house and you sprain your ankle and you come in limping, your mother will grab a hold of you and hug you, and she will send you lots of love. We've forgotten all these things. We've forgotten the importance of a mother and how much she has directed in our lives. And for many of us, we have a greater interaction with our mothers than we do with our fathers. Basically, because our fathers may be working a little longer, or perhaps if both parents work, but the mother comes home, how are you? Makes dinner, or co-makes dinner, helps with the laundry, talks to you. This is a special relationship she has with her child. And that relationship is immutable. It can never end, can never stop, can never be described. And as I said, always felt. I've talked about, I didn't realize it till a couple of years ago, actually a year and a half ago. All these years. And I was looking at something with my mother and she said, Michael, you can do anything. And I've told you this before. I've been in so many things I've done in my life, so many businesses I've been involved with, companies I've worked for. I always go, I can do this. I can do this. I don't know anything about it. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. And everything I did, I made a success of because I can do this, right? And this was so ingrained within me, just like your mother's love for you is so ingrained that it can never, ever be replaced or removed. I would like all of you, while I'm talking, for a few moments. Actually, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take about a 2 minute break, not going to be off the screen, but I would like you to just close your eyes and tell your mother whether she's sitting next to you, she's on the other side, or living across the world or country. Tell her how much you love her. Tell her how much you care about her. Thank you. Say thank you, thank you, thank you for all your sacrifices, for what you did for your children and your family. And take a moment. If you've done anything that annoys her, that you think needs to be forgiven for, ask that, whatever it feels like. And I will tell you, even though she may be across the world, across the country, on another planet, it's my expression of birth out of her body, she's going to hear you. So just close your eyes for about 2 minutes and spend these 2 minutes. And whatever nickname she had for you, use this is whatever your nickname is, and tell her how much you appreciate her, love her. And I shall be silent now. And open your eyes now and realize that your mother had such a powerful impact upon you because she helped you with your life. And you learned so many beautiful things. Maybe you learned some things you wanted to change in your life. Maybe you criticized your mother, but you know, you didn't walk in her shoes. You didn't know what she had to put up with. You don't know what she did. You only become the observer. And sometimes, as an observer, we become too judgmental and just realize that she made many sacrifices and had to be the way she was to make you strong, to teach you many things. And while you're sitting with your family or friends or relatives, whomever, share some beautiful stories about your mom. Tell her some beautiful things she used to do. That's so important for us because that's how we honor our mothers, and that's how we honor our life, and that's how we honor our heritage. Think about those beautiful things. I'm looking at the clock. I got some more time, but to you want to say something. Go ahead.
I do. I do. My mom birthed out in 2011, and I didn't realize that some of the lessons that she gave us as children, when you're little or when you're even a teenager, you're like, yeah, yeah, whatever, but it's true. One of the things, well, a few things that my mom always said was, always listen to your inner voice. When you're in doubt, take a minute and pause and ask the question and listen in here for the answer, because it never steers you wrong. And I didn't realize it then until until Michael told me, yeah, that's your soul talking to you. That's the message you're getting from True Source. Pay attention. And I'm like, Mom's been saying that for, my whole life. She also said, um, always do unto others as you want them to, do unto you. Treat people like you would want to be treated. And the other thing that I never ever forget is, um, um, now I forgot it. No, it was live the world a little bit better than it was when you got here. You know, live it with love and compassion for others, and be kind. And I think somewhere along the way, what happens is life can get ugly. Sometimes it can get really ugly. And when we get caught up in the ugly, we start to, it kind of smudges the pretty, you could say, because we forget that the simple things in our life is exactly what you teach us, Michael: unconditional love. Nothing negative. Thank you for reminding me and teaching me this. Nothing negative can live in the power of unconditional love. It just doesn't happen. And, there were bumpy things in my life. You can read it in the book if you want. That the whole thing is that everything that I learned came from my mom. And Michael basically woke up my soul and reminded me that a lot of that is true. And love is unconditional. Can I share this one story that I really, really want to? Michael, is it okay? Okay. When my mom had Alzheimer's, and it was the last few days that she was alive, and we were on this 24-hour, 7-day-a-week vigil because we knew she wouldn't last much longer. And it was my night to be with my mom. And, that's like when you know darn well that the end is coming. If you're lucky and blessed enough to be there at that moment, you want to make sure that, that you've already kind of apologized for everything, the true confessions comes out or whatever. My mom hadn't talked in a long, long time. And she was just lying there. And I scooped her in my arms, and her frail little body didn't even weigh 100 pounds. And I could feel her bones through the blanket. And I looked at her and I told her how much I loved her and how blessed I was she was my mom. And in that moment, I will never, ever, ever forget this. She opened her beautiful blue eyes, and they were the most beautiful blue I had ever seen. And her last words or to me. I'm going to cry, Michael.
Thank you.
She
That's a
said,
beautiful story. Thank you for sharing it.
hang on. She said, I love you too. And it was her last words. And I'm like, you have no idea the power of a mother's love. Remember that. Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome. Thank you for sharing that beautiful story. You know, you brought out something really important. Sometimes we're so busy in life, we don't have time to acknowledge our mothers. And my suggestion is once a week, acknowledge your mother. If she's here with us, alive, call her. Don't send her a text. Please don't do that. Call her and tell her I love you. And even if she can't pick up the phone, leave a message on voicemail. Hi, Mom. I'm thinking of you. I love you. I'm sorry I missed you. Pretty important. And if your mom is no longer with us and she's on the other side, say a little prayer and tell her how much you appreciate you and how much I love you, Mom, and how you've helped me through life. And do that once a week. You'd be amazed what will occur. So, everyone, all of you, I wish you all a very happy, joyous, fun Mother's Day, full of love, full of joy, full of happiness. And remember that in your life, she gave you a gift, and she's the greatest gift that you will ever receive from your mother. And in life, there are three great gifts, but I'm not going to tell you the three, only the one right now, and it's your mother. Just think of her. Thank you so much. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about some other things that we do, and Tiiu and I do. On the second Saturday of every month, I have what is called a mass consciousness healing. And a mass consciousness healing is where everyone gets on with us on the phone. I use freeconferencecall.com because sometimes it's early in the morning where you live, and maybe you don't want to get your hair done, you want to do it in your pajamas, or perhaps it's a little later and you don't want to make yourself look too gussied up, as they say, because you've been having a good time mowing the lawn or you're perspiring and getting on freeconferencecall.com. We don't know what you look like. We can just hear the beauty within your voice. And it starts at 9:55 a.m. Pacific, now it's daylight savings time, to 11:01 Pacific daylight savings time. So it's an hour and 6 minutes, maybe an hour 7, but rarely does it ever go over that. And this is so important that we need to do that. We need to share the love. Because I look around the world, I talk to people. They're so angry, so insecure, so unhappy, so unsure of things. They're frightened. They feel bullied. They feel insecure. What is the one energy that you're created of, life, love, like created out of love, by love, from love, with love, and of love? That's the energy. That's the glue that holds your body together. And if you don't think that doesn't work, find somebody that's unhappy and angry and ticked off and watch their body and their life begin to deteriorate. Love is the glue that holds this planet together and you together. So this mass consciousness that I do the second Saturday of every month is to send out that love energy. And don't wait for the second Saturday. Do it all the time. And to access that, would you please give us the telephone number?
I'd be happy to. The number is 202 926 1059. And the access code
125-446-pound.
that was good. Let me do it one more time. It's 202 926 1059. And the access code
125-446-pound.
we'll make sure everything's in the comments, okay?
And I also, on every Tuesday evening from 6:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Savings Time to roughly 7:30 Pacific Time, Daylight Savings Time, or maybe a little later, You call in with questions, and hopefully I can answer them. And then I leave you about a 15-minute, 10 to 15-minute motivational message. And I believe that everything is channeled, so it comes from spirit, not from me. And if you want, there's 225, and maybe you're stuck in the car, right? And you're kind of angry or upset, or maybe there's something going on, and you just need some motivation. And it starts with number 3 to 225, and just listen to the message and let it change your life. Let it motivate you. Let it give you some understanding. But to access that number, it is
Okay. The recordings are at 434
no.
300.
Hold on. We want to give them the telephone number to call in.
Oh, the Tuesday night call-in number first,
Yes, please.
not the 225 recordings.
No. Afterwards, we'll
Okay.
give that number.
Okay. My bad. All
No,
right.
it's my fault.
The Tuesday night number that you want to dial in on is also the same as the second Saturday call. So I'll repeat that one more time. It's 202-926-1059. And the access code?
Is 125-446-pound.
Shall I do it again or are we good?
Please, would you please? Thank you.
Okay. Okay. 202-926-1059. And the access code?
125-446-pound.
He just likes shaking his computer. What can I
I
say?
love it.
Okay.
And
Now,
we have one more number,
right.
recorded
And this
call.
is, yes. The recordings can be reached when you dial 434 300 4170. Access code is the same, Michael.
125-446-pound.
One more time on that number. It's 434 300 4170. And the access code?
125-446-pound. You know, everyone, you probably know this, but there may be some new people. In a past life, she was my sister. We were fraternal twins. Thank goodness we were fraternal twins, because I don't know what I'd look like a woman. So I guess I'm lucky to be a guy here. And the story is she kicked me out of the womb first because she wanted an older brother, but she really wanted to say, Mikey goes first. If he likes it, then I'll follow Mikey. Remember that, Ann, on the cereal? Mikey likes it. Mikey likes it. And, you know, I had to get back at her. And she said one day she had the vision of our mother. And she said, oh my gosh, our mother was gorgeous, just beautiful. I said, yeah, just like me. So that's the way I get back at her. So when she growls at me or something, it's just we have fun with each other. We tease each other. And that's the way life should be. Have fun, tease each other, have joy, and just look at the bright side of life. Because goodness knows you can look at the dark side for eons. But it's so hard to look at the bright side because you have to force yourself to embrace love and change everything. That's what your mother did. No matter how bad it was, she embraced you in life with love and joy. Remember that. And with that being said, go ahead to you.
Exactly. I just wanted to say no matter how upset you get, no matter how upset mom gets, bottom line is that she's always going to love you. A mom has unconditional love for her children, and we need to remember that and honor who she is. You know, it doesn't matter if we disagree sometimes, it's okay because family love is, you know, and love is like the most powerful energy there is. So always remember that. My mom is still with me. I carry her with me every day in my heart, and everything I do, I remember what she's taught me. And I hope everyone else does as well, because we're very, very blessed to have our mothers. And, you know, on that note, We didn't script this. It was pretty gosh darn funny that we didn't script this. But we always, always, always show our books one last time. So I highly recommend start here with the
Healing
spiritual
the holes in
primer.
your soul. And go ahead, I
And
interrupted you. I apologize.
start here with the spiritual primer and get in touch with Dr. Michael Gross if you want to get a complimentary consultation with him to learn more about what drives you forward in your world of unconditional love and finding your own missions and goals. He's amazing, and I honor you and I thank you for that. Go ahead, Michael.
And healing the holes in your soul. It's all about Tiiu and her journey. And I encourage you to get a complimentary session with her. And you know, the guy that wrote the forward, he's one super guy that did that. You know, I think I may know him. I'm not sure, but he's
Yeah.
something. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for letting us tease each other and joke around with each other and have some fun. Because we want you to know that we're serious, but we want you to know life should be full of joy and fun and happiness. And that's what it's really about. So remember, you are unlimited. Happy Mother's Day.
Namaste. Happy Mother's Day.
Bye,
Take care.
everyone.